And then once I found out it was illegal, and by the way, Scott Samuels knew it was illegal, because 10 years ago, Lee Katzman told him, you can't go in the real estate business, we're a condominium, not a realtor. We also hired somebody just to do that. Wrong, wrong, wrong. There's another issue that I'd like to bring to everyone's attention. The current board doesn't understand it is illegal for us to go on the telephone and through emails and then make decisions and ratify it at the board. The only exception being an emergency situation. We do that constantly. The reason for it is you as unit owners have a right for input when we're discussing things. And by doing it our way, I shouldn't say our way because I'm against it from the get-go, that eliminates you guys, and you guys are an important factor. And when I say it's illegal, we can get heavily fined for doing that.
That's true.
Those are two issues. The third issue, which I'm only going to touch upon, is the fact that we've got 2 openings on the board. For whatever reason, we're not filling them. I think we got to fill them SOS. And now I'll stop talking and answer any questions.
Many years ago, when they didn't have real estate...
Give her the mic. Here, you can have my mic.
Many years ago, when they did have real estate here, weren't there a lot of legal actions taken here?
I wasn't here, but I know that Lee Katzman told me that he told Scott years ago not to get in real estate because years ago we had money and we were making a profit. Now, that's not a problem. We're making money, but we don't have a profit. But you can't take insurance proceeds that should be using to fix up the village, to buy apartments to make a profit. We got to fix the leaks, fix the construction. We happen to have a few people, we're lucky. One of them is standing there, is my friend Joe. The other one we have on the board is Mark Jones, a young fellow. They have construction experience. We have received the check, which is in my hand now, not the check, a copy of the check, which came to us on December 10th. Standing here now, it's March 22nd, we haven't fixed anything, we don't even have a legitimate bid. Explain to me why. I fought them tooth and nail, and I keep losing.
Now, the people that you want on the board, who makes that decision as far as picking, to replace them?
Anybody is allowed to pick a candidate, and the board, by a majority, right now, there's only 7 of us. So let's say I pick Mr. X, somebody seconds Mr. X, we take a vote. If we get 4 votes, they're on. If we get less, they're off. It's that simple. But at the last meeting, and I must apologize to a few people, some people got angry, some people said you did the right thing. Calling Scott the Messiah was not the smartest thing I did, but I was angry. So if I insulted anyone, I'll apologize now for saying that.
Well, I'd like Francis to go back on the board.
You don't have that, you don't have,
We're not up to that.
we're not that, you have,
We're not up to that. Marcy, you had your question. Sit there.
Stuart, question about the insurance funds. Do you know if the association can use those funds to fund our deficit?
the answer to that is probably yes. The reason I say probably, because since Thursday, I've been trying to get Lee Katzman to answer my calls, or Donna Berger, who works for Lee Katzman, to give me the documentation that came with the check so I could tell you emphatically yes or no. But when Scott and I received the check, actually Francis got the check and gave it, we asked Lee, are there any restrictions? His answer was no. Scott took that as carte blanche, we do what we want. The answer was no, in meaning we could fix a roof, we could fix concrete, there's nothing specific in there, but I haven't read it yet. I do have one letter which I could read you apart, but it doesn't give you details like you can do this, that, and the other thing. But it's clear, you cannot buy apartments with the money.
Okay, so just to clarify, do we
One
have,
second, Florence, he has a...
just to clarify, do we have an attorney opinion specifically whether or not we can use the funds to pay our deficit, which we know we're going to have?
The answer to that is, I'm not sure, and that's why since Thursday I've been trying to reach the attorney to get an emphatic opinion in writing from the man that got us the money.
One of the items.
Francis speaking, Francis.
Francis, can you get up so they can see who you are?
That's okay.
Oh, sit then, sit.
The statement by Katzman, also at the arbitration settlement, when we decided on the settlement, was that there was no restriction on the funds in regard to how they were to be used to repair the village. Because there was a concern, since the windows damage was a big portion of the additional funds that we were able to receive. We were concerned that maybe we would be specifically required to repair the windows first, which meant that we would have very little left over
Correct.
for other repairs. As far as the deficit is concerned, we should ask that question specifically. It was not considered at that time.
Okay, I did ask Lee the question, and I haven't been able to get an answer since last Thursday. I called his office today, spoke to his secretary and Donna Berger's secretary, said this is a serious thing because you're talking to someone who could be implicated for fraud and embezzlement, and I'm not thrilled with that. That's why I'm reneging on the whole thing.
Stuart, I don't understand one thing. I'm a little confused. You know, in one moment we're talking to Lee Katzman and getting his opinion. When it came to having Paul off the board, we seem to be talking to Robert Kay or his associate. Who do we have? Who is our attorney?
Okay, I'll answer that this way. Since all bets are off, so I speak the truth. The truth is, Robert Kay is, let me try to rephrase this in the proper way, let's say, has some loyalties towards Scott. Lee Katzman, who has I've had some difference with in the past, but since he got his $2.3 million, he can do no wrong in my book. And I'll kiss his ass, excuse my French, in Macy's window, because anyone that can get his $2,300,000 out of the blue is okay in my book. But the answer to that realistically is our corporate attorney now for the day-to-day work is Robert Kay. And I disagree with that completely.
Okay, thank you. Here's a question, 1 second. Question from Bell Klepper.
Not a question, a comment. I've lived here for 20 years. The roofs have been, I say this only so it will not happen again. The roofs have been fixed 3 or 4 times. They've never been fixed properly. So let's just bear that in mind so that when they are fixed now, they're fixed properly so that 6 months from now, they don't have to be, or 2 years from now, they don't have to be fixed again.
Okay, I can only answer that by telling you I know nothing about construction, but this much I do know. In order to hire somebody that makes a bid, and I learned this from my friend whose wife is sitting right here, Abe Best, you must have a performance bond and you must check out the people doing the work. And people ask me, how did you come up with these answers on construction if you know nothing? Because I call Abe, who has a construction company, he tells me and I tell the board. I don't know, but I trust him and he knows his stuff because his son still is running a very lucrative construction business. My philosophy is if I don't know, ask somebody that knows, and then you can know what you're talking about. My wife has a question.
It was never done properly.
I agree with you, and we could take the blame for what?
In the past, from what I know, they never fixed the roofs, they patched the roofs.
No, that's not true. We put new roofs on.
Before Wilma, they patched the roofs.
All right, I think we have an insurance person here that may have something to help us out. Come on up front. I have the mic.
This is a young lady who was on the board.
I was on the board.
Who I forget your name, I
Colette.
apologize.
I'm Colette Gosling. Most of you guys know me. I was on the board during the hell of Hurricane Wilma. I'm a licensed insurance agent in the state of Florida. We cannot use those funds other than to repair and replace the things that we got paid for. We do not replace the windows and do the repairs that they paid the money for. We will never be able to claim that again. So think about it. We don't replace windows. We don't repair roofs. If we get another hurricane, we cannot put claims in for that damage that was never repaired that they've already paid us for. So, and on top of it, if we've used the money for other things, it can be construed, like you said before, as insurance fraud. Which then means some people will go to jail. Because they
Talk about me that way.
Mark, you have something to follow
Mark
up?
spoke, Michael?
Just a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So, a month or so ago, there was a finance committee meeting, and,
Well, there was one
allocation,
last week that I called.
no, this
No,
was,
I know the one you're talking about, but I wasn't privy to that one.
okay, well, there was a finance meeting, and there was an allocation, or a table of allocations set up for approximately $1.5 billion.
It was listed, well,
This was before the new board was
Before the-
elected,
Well,
is that
I
correct?
didn't-
I'm just asking you, is
I-
that?
That's correct,
Good,
but there
okay,
was a
fine.
finance committee meeting,
Yes,
and what I'm
I have
curious
the
about
notes.
is, did it ever go to the board, and did it ever get voted on?
the answer to the question is no, but I'm also working with some banking contacts to do a rate and term to get rid of Wachovia for some other reasons. And I got a list comprised from Gil, which is a little over $1 million in repairs, and it specifies what we're gonna do with the money. So the answer is, I never saw that, but Gil gave me a list. The list is over $1 million.
Well, half of it was in the clubhouse.
A good portion was, we've got to fix roofs, and even though everyone thinks, hallelujah, we got this $2 million, that'll be gone in a heartbeat, because we've got to do work, we've got to hold money. You can't use the word reserve because we voted against the reserve, so let's call it a sinking fund, call it whatever you want. I use the figure 10%, you gotta hold 300,000 plus, because right now, we haven't got 10 cents of extra money, except in this, and everyone thinks that we're loaded, but we're not loaded. We gotta start doing work to fix up the place. Mark, go ahead.
Mark, to specifically answer your question, I was on the committee at the time. The only thing the committee could do was to give recommendations to the then sitting board, which we did. And the board verbally accepted all the recommendations. But implementation would be up to the new board. And at this point, the only thing that's been done by the association that I'm aware of that money is none of the recommendations, but they decided to buy some units. And I'm just put my
Marvin is 100% correct.
and I'll put my 2 cents in. If there's any way to get out of those deals.
You didn't listen. When I said for a slight fee of a couple of $1,000, you get out of the deal.
I'm just putting in my 2 cents, that if all it means getting out of those deals is a couple of grand in fees or whatever, let's get the hell out right now.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Michael?
Yeah, well, I have a copy of that list, and you were.
I have a copy too.
And so,
I'd like someone to give me a copy of it. Would be
yeah,
nice.
I'm glad to give you a copy.
I have a solution.
My
Joe?
question is this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still are gonna be left with 100 foreclosures this year. Some of them are already bank-owned, and the rest are inevitably bank-owned. What are we gonna do to get them back on the maintenance rolls? If the
Okay,
association
okay.
can't buy them,
All right.
investors, I know 5, 6 investors that wanted to buy property here, but have been scared away by the board.
The only thing I could say is, this is not the avenue to go into that, but I agree that we must do something, because leaving them there to get dusty is not the answer. But I can't give you the answer off the top of my head now, but that requires small groups of the board getting together and coming up with a sensible solution that everyone can live with happily. And I'm open for any suggestions, anyone wants to talk to me
I
about
have a
it.
suggestion.
No good.
I'm used to that. Guys, can we, you have something to say, Joe? You want to say something now? Okay, all right. Joe, I got the mic. You hold on to the mic.
Just going to give you a couple examples, because there seems to be some different opinions on these roofs. When you put a roof on, it's ongoing maintenance from day one. The day it's completed, for the next day the sun comes up, the maintenance starts on the roof. I went around with George, been working on this for a couple weeks, again with a lot of input from George. I believe Henry, our property manager, may be addressing some of this for the Heidelberg roof, which is a new roof. General maintenance, checking and repairs, seam scuppers, and checking pitch pans, which are things that stop the water from going in from all the compressors up on the roof. Estimated cost, or it may be an actual quote, is $4,800. interlocking roof, same thing, just general maintenance, because Hurricane Wilma's been quite a few years already, all right? Estimated cost $6,800. St. Moritz roof, general maintenance, scuppers checked, cut out the bubbles, so some of the roofs are starting to get bubbles where moisture's getting underneath. So to repair that, you cut around it, you hot tar it again and put your rubberized sealer in there. That's another $6,800. Now the Grenoble roof, this roof has been a problem. I believe we may currently be in a lawsuit with Blue Water.
That's the,
Mr. Grenoble?
We just settled that.
Just settled that, okay.
there's another one, the Bordeaux is
The Bordeaux, yeah. The Grenoble roof, this roof needs all new vents, pitch pans, scuppers, and bubbles and repairs. That's $27,000 for that roof. I don't think that roof was ever fully finished. The Bordeaux roof, general maintenance and scuppers, I don't think there's any estimates on that yet. The Orleans roof, inspect the entire roof. The Orleans has a little bit of a different problem. That roof was done by Best Buy, and I believe the shingles were done by Best Buy. A lot of shingles are falling off the roof, the mansards that go around the perimeter of the roof. So that needs to be repaired. That may be warranty work. There may be a couple other issues that should be checked out that may be also warranty work. The big one is the building you're sitting in. I believe they have bids for this. I think, George, you turned in some bids for this building. New roof, $126,000. All new shingles. You gotta understand, this roof here, and Paul will verify it, Pegasus never inspected anything here, nothing. For the longest time, it was on the city's radar. And you see a red tag down here in a pump room, that's still red tag from a year ago. So it's on their radar. But that, just for the new shingles to redo everything is $234,000. So just for this roof, we're talking around $360,000.
Joe, excuse me. When a roof is done and you pay $250,000, isn't there a warranty with that?
Absolutely, that's what I said. Some of these roofs,
all of those roofs,
some of these roofs may have warranty.
and they're wanting $6,800 and $4,800.
That's
Isn't
normal
this part of
maintenance.
the
That's the
warranty?
seams start to crack. I don't know if it would fall under warranty. We have to look up the contract.
Right. When you have a
That's Henry's
warranty,
shop.
it's a warranty.
Well,
We will
don't make
look
the
after
assumption that it's a full face warranty. Okay, it may not be. I don't know. I have to look at the contract.
Wouldn't it be nice to have it written in the contract?
Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Those contracts are old.
Let's try to just
All right.
get the information out.
It's gonna be the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michelle has a.
Okay, here's the problem with the warranty work. One of the companies that did the Bordeaux, they were supposed to come back every year to inspect it. They were told they were not allowed back on the property or to inspect the work. So we're being sued by one of the owners in there for having leaks, mold, and damage to their unit. Because of that, there will be no warranty work because they were never allowed back on the property to inspect that roof by the previous board.
Which company was that? Is that Best Buy or Blue Water? Best Buy?
That's fine.
That's not true.
We received it
Whoa,
from
whoa,
the
whoa,
attorney.
ladies.
We
This is
received
not
that,
right, this is
you
not
were at that
right.
meeting.
Yeah.
We received it from the attorney that is representing our insurance company. He gave it to us in writing. He told us the names of the people who told them that they could not come back on the property. It might not have been when you were there, Francis, but it was prior to that. It might have been
It
Gloria.
would be interesting to know exactly who denied
I
them.
actually have the names, I just don't know. but
Everybody
they were told
denies.
no.
The insurance company denies, that's their first job, is to deny.
Right.
You have to go back and go after them, otherwise they get away with it. I don't think that means anything. That's their nature.
Talk about this for a second.
Go ahead, take all the time you want.
Okay,
Don't
this,
take all that.
this is a letter from Katzman, Garfinkel, Rosenbaum, and I guess Berger now. As of today. Okay, I have a letter here that was mailed to the association supposedly December 15th.
No, that was handed to us. I'm kidding.
Okay, it was handed to you, yeah. 2009, I guess that was when we settled this recent thing. I just showed it to Frances, and not because she's sitting here and can shoot me, but I believe what she says. She never saw this letter. So I don't know where this letter went. What I don't understand is I know Stuart and Henry today even spent an inordinate amount of time trying to get a hold of either Donna Berger or Lee Katzman to get this resolved. In this letter, it says, oh, we're happy and all that stuff, but it also states, while the board of directors has acted in accordance with its fiduciary duty to the membership in pursuing a fair and reasonable insurance recovery, the 2.3 mil, its duty does not end with the receipt of proceeds. Much to the contrary, the board now has perhaps a greater obligation to ensure that these proceeds are properly allocated. The failure to properly allocate insurance proceeds pursuant to the requirements set forth in the association's governing docs, our documents, governing docs, and pertinent provisions, even more importantly, as far as I'm concerned, of the Florida statutes, may expose the association and its board of directors to significant liability. Consequently, we strongly urge the board to consult with your current association counsel. If you do not have counsel to assist you, our firm can assist you, although these services would be outside your existing contract with our department. And this is what really gets me, because I know these guys have spent a lot of time in the last couple of weeks trying to get hold of the attorneys to get this resolved. Evidently, there's another letter or a list that may indicate what these funds are supposed to be used for. I know the insurance company, Citizens, has it, because they just don't pay arbitrarily. They create a list, and they go back and forth, and compare it to our claims and make their decisions. We should be able to have that list. Our transactional department can assist you with this complex issue. Please feel free to contact our head of our transactional department, Attorney Donna Berger, to request and obtain a legal opinion regarding the rights and duties of the board in connection with receipt of the enclosed insurance proceeds. And we haven't been able to do that in the last couple of weeks. So I don't know what's going on there, but I find it very disturbing. So,
Let me just add something to what Joe said. I have in my hand a copy of the check. And